Hello, welcome to my tutorial on how to manage your domain emails through Google Mail or Gmail. So a domain email is one attached to a domain that you own. So for example, I own nikkistevens.com. So I have an email that's nikki@nikkistevens.com. So for example, it could be hello at whatever your domain is.com. Because after all, what looks more professional? Whether it's on the back of a van, whether it's on a business card, whether you're just emailing people and that's the email address that they're going to see when they receive it. What looks better? Nikki1234 or XYZ or something else in there at hotmail.com, or Nikki@nikkistevens.com. See, the domain one looks a lot more professional. So normally a domain email is accessed through your host's control panel. This is time consuming and not convenient. So normally wherever your website is hosted, that's where you'd have to sign in to be able to get to your control panel. So for example, in my case, my hosting is with HostGator, so I'd have to sign into HostGator, scroll down to the email section, find the email address that I wanted to check, sign into that, because within HostGator they've got, I think, like 3 different email services. Then you'd wait for the emails to load, then you'll be able to do things, and then you go away and leave it for 5 minutes, and then you'd have to go through that all over again. And trust me, ain't nobody got time for that. Not in this day and age where we want everything to have instant access. I know some people use Outlook or Thunderbird, that sort of thing, on their computers, which is fine if you never leave your house. But what happens if you need to check your email away from home? See, this is why I use Gmail, Google Mail, to manage all of my domain emails. Because it's free, for starters, and that's always a bonus. You can access it from anywhere with an internet connection, so whether it's on your phone, your tablet, someone else's phone, someone else's computer, any of those sorts of things. So even if you're travelling, anything like that, provided you can get some sort of internet connection, you can access your emails. Now, word of warning here. Google has changed how it allows you to do this. It used to be that you could do whatever you wanted and have as many emails forwarded as you liked. But now you can only have up to 5 different domains and only 1 email address per domain. So as an example, before I've had Nikki at, info at, payments at, contact at, all at nikkistevens.com. So Nikki at nikkistevens.com, info at, payments at nikkistevens.com, and all of them running through Google with no problems. But no, they decided that was too easy and too nice, and so they've stopped that now. So now you can only have 1 email address associated with each domain. So you need to choose wisely. So from that previous list, I picked Nikki at nikkistevens.com. So if you're ready, you can watch me set up a new one. So to create the email address, we first of all need to sign into our host. So this is wherever you bought your domain from, and wherever you're now hosting that website, this is where you need to go. So in my case, as I mentioned before, I'm with HostGator. So we need to scroll down until we get to Mail, and then go to Email Accounts. If you're not with HostGator, your host should have something very similar to this. So here's where we get to set up our nice new email account. So in this case, we need to pick the domain that we're looking for. As you can see, I have got quite a few things going on. And I just want to set up one, nikki@sparklybeauty.com. So we give it a password. This is what you would normally have to use when you sign into it, if you had to sign in through your host, which is just long-winded and a pain. Sorry. So set up whatever you want the beginning of it to be, make sure you've picked the right end, and then give it a password, and then make sure that you tick unlimited for your mailbox quota. Again, I assume other hosts would have a very similar layout to this. So just hit create account, and as you can see, it's thinking, and it's done. There we go. Now, this is the next important part, because it's all well and good that we've now got that set up, but at the moment, that's all going to still be managed within HostGator, which is not what we want, because obviously we want to set it up through Google. So the first thing we're going to go and do, go back to the home, Scroll back down to the email bit again, and now we do forwarders. And this will all become clear a little bit further on. So again, you can see I've done this quite often. In fact, I've got 2 pages worth. So we want to add forwarder, and then find the address, or find the domain rather, that we want to use. Where have you gone? There you are. And then the email address that we've just set up. So in my case, Nikki@sparklybeauty.com. And then tell it where to forward it. So in my case, you can tell I've done this before, it will be going to my Google account. And this is why I keep referring to it being Google Mail, not just Gmail, because mine still is Google Mail. So make sure this one stays ticked here, the forward to, because if you tab after that, as I did, it flicks down to the next one and just gets confusing. So just make sure it's just ticked forward to email address and then pick whichever. And this should also work if you're using Hotmail. I believe they do a similar service to Google Mail with this as well. I don't use that, so I'm just showing you what I do with Gmail. So let me just click on Add Forwarder. And there we go. So it now says all emails sent to Nikki@sparklybeauty.com will now be copied to my Google address. But that doesn't mean I can send from it. So at the moment, that's literally just a forwarder, so that anything sent to the first email will get sent to the second. So I could read it, but if I went to reply, then the reply would come from nrstevens@googlemail.com, which is what we're trying to avoid. So now we go to the next bit. So now we want to head on over into Google Mail or Gmail and set up the email address at that end. Ta-da! So if you go to settings, which is this little cog, and then settings again, and then here at the top you've got accounts and import. So if you click on that, and then scroll down, so this is how you used to be able to do it, is it would be here in this top section. And as you can see, I mean, some of these are old and just need deleting now. But now we have to set it up through this section here, this checking email account from other accounts using POP3. So as you can see, I'm now using 4 of the 5. So this will be my last one to set up. Obviously I can always delete other ones and then put a different one in. That's not a problem at all. So we'll click on Add a POP3 mail account that you own. Just bring that down so you can see what I'm doing, because that would be helpful really. So if you add in the email address we've just created, and it remembers it, thank you. And then next step. And then username. This is what you use to sign in to your hosting in the first place. So this is the username and password that you use to sign in to wherever it is you're hosting. So in my case, to sign into HostGator. They've actually changed this. It never used to have all of these options here. These always used to be separate things to do afterwards. So yes, I want to archive incoming messages. I don't want them just piling up in my inbox. I want them to go to a separate inbox. So for example, if you see down here, like I've got the Nikki at Nikki Stevens, and then Organised Goddess is there. I've got quite a few in there. So that's how I want it. I don't need those in my inbox. It's automatically setting up a label for me. Yes, you can set up a new label. So if you don't want it to actually be the email address. So I will call it Sparkly Beauty Unique, because that's why I've set it up. So, label incoming messages with that, and archive incoming messages. And then click on Add Account. And then do I want to be able to, this is a good bit. So the mail account has now been added, so that's a start. And then do I want to be able to send email as Nikki@sparklybeauty.com? Yes, I do. Because otherwise it'll default to my Google Mail. And as I've pointed out throughout the whole thing, throughout this video, we're trying to get away from the sort of free providers. We're trying to make this look more professional. So if someone emails in and I reply to them, I want it to show that it's coming from Nikki@sparklybeauty, not coming from, Google Mail one. So if you hit next step, now do I want my name to come up as that, or do I want my name to come up as something else? So if you hit next step, I need to change this bit here where it says SMTP, that needs to say mail. and then the username and password, I think is a host username and password again. So the password we've just put in, that was how you got into your hosting account, you need to put that in again. And leave this alone. If it recommends it, we'll leave it alone, that's absolutely fine. So this shows that Google has now successfully spoken to HostGator, which is always a bonus. Now, this is why we did the forward, because it now says that the email with the confirmation code has been sent to Nikki@sparklybeauty.com. So normally, if we hadn't done the forward, we'd have to go back into HostGator, sign into that, go to email, find the email account we wanted, go in and open it, and we haven't got time for that. So, in principle, in my inbox now, ta-da! We've got the email from Gmail. An email from Gmail. Sorry, things like that amuse me. So, I'll click on that a second, and it says, you've requested to add this to your Gmail account. Before you can send it, click the link below. So I don't mind if I do. There you go. So now it says, confirmation, I can now send emails as that. So I'll just show you how that looks. Get rid of that. So now that we've set it up so that I can actually send mail as, if we go to compose, just pop that out so you can see what I'm talking about. Then if you click on this little down arrow, then you can pick whichever email it is you want to use. So that's the one that we've just set up, which means if I email myself, it should come up from this. So we'll check that in just a second. I think my computer's on a go slow at the moment. Well, I think actually my internet's on a go slow. Oh look, there I am. So you see it's come up with the new email address there, with the name that I gave it. So if you just click onto that, you can see it's come from Nikki@sparklybeauty.com. So you see there's nothing in there that says, on behalf of, Nikki at Google Mail or anything like that. It's just comes up with that and has mailed by sparklybeauty.com. So you'd never know that this is being run through a free program like Gmail. So there you go. And also if you're using it on a phone, anything like that, a similar way, it'll just appear in the drop down box that you can use, and then, don't mind me, that you can use and then send over. Right, so actually there's one more step we need to do, because we need to make sure that it does all filter into the particular folder that we've designed for it. Because I don't know if the way that Google set it up then, I don't think that actually worked properly. So if you just pop to settings, and this time go to filters. Yes, as you can see I have done this before. So if you create a new filter, and anything that's to Nikki at Sparkly, oh there we are, look, it's picked me out. Oh, stop that. Right, there we go. So anything that's sent to me, create a filter with this, because I don't need to worry about any of the other things. So we archive it and apply the label. What did we set up just now? Sparkly Beauty, there we go. And that's it. We don't need to send a canned response or anything like that. Aha, and there we are. It's picked up 3 conversations that have been sent. So we'll tick that as well. So skip the inbox because we don't want it in the inbox. Apply the label so that we tell it where to go. So rather than being in there, it goes into there. And then I'm asking it to filter out the conversations we've already got. So hit create filter. And there it says at the top that a filter was created. So now, if we scroll down to our new folder, there we are, you see, it's got the 3 in there. So these are the emails that we've sent to Nikki@sparklybeauty.com, and they are now all appearing in the folder. So they are no longer in my inbox, they're in the folder. So that when I get new emails, you can see it bolds them out. So Organised Goddess is bold. It's like if you compare it to Nikki at nikkistevens.com, and then here you'll see there's a number next to it as well. So you can see how many emails you've got to go in and go through. There you go. I hope that helped. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.